Hi, all.
Hey, everyone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Another segment of BARCLAY Talks.
Woo!
We are back and we have some great and fantastic things today. We have a very special guest, actually, two special guests.
Yes.
We got a package deal this morning,
Mm-hmm.
and we cannot wait for you guys to meet them. Miss Michaela, let me talk to you. Don't we have I know we teased a couple of exciting things last week that Barclay is doing. Do you wanna give a quick little teaser again about what to
Yes.
keep people in the know so they know what's coming up?
Yes. So we are actually, I think I should announce it. Should we announce it?
I wouldn't say announce it, but you
Not
could definitely
announce it?
drop like a
Drop-
little
drop a
more.
little
Yeah,
nuggets,
drop a
a little
little
Okay.
hint.
All right. So keep your eye out for a flyer coming very, very soon. An announcement coming very, very soon, maybe even in the next day or
Maybe
two.
this weekend, maybe.
Or even, maybe this weekend. Who knows? We are going to be doing something very, very special on Halloween this year. Halloween is looking a bit different just because of the state of the world right now, and we just wanted to bring some Barclay magic and have something fun for everyone. And we hope to see you there. We will be telling you more about it soon. We've got a lot of fun things planned for the day of Halloween, actually the night of Halloween. So be sure to keep those schedules open, maybe during 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So keep those schedules open because we have something very, very exciting and fun coming out very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the teaser.
That is a little teaser.
Mhm.
That's a good little tease there, Miss Michaela. Guys, what Miss Michaela also wanted to mention, that I'm sure she just had so much in her brain. She was like, "Where do I start first?" Because we're always doing so much.
Right.
We have our open mic night this Sunday.
Yay!
So if you guys, any artists out there, anybody who would like to share their talent, share their creativity, have a moment to again feel be an artist, in this difficult time. Barclay has opened up their platform, and we're going to stream our open mic night. And last Sunday we had a great success. We saw a number of past Barclay people and even some new Barclay friends like Miss Michaela. Jasmine was such a pleasure to hear, and
what a gem.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
And Jasmine, if you're watching, just know that we love you and thank you for what you did last week.
Yes, the talent was unbelievable.
Nonstop, hit after hit after hit.
I could not talk. I was just everyone took the words out of my mouth.
Yes.
Even right now, I'm like, I don't know what to say. So I can't wait for next week. It's just such a great opportunity for performers right now. There are not many opportunities to perform. So it's so great that Barclay's, opening some doors, giving some opportunity. And it's a great time. We have a lot of fun. It's late on a Sunday.
It's Sunday from 8 to 9:30. So guys, if you want to be a part of that, we highly recommend you joining us. Again, like Miss Michaela saying, it's such a fun time. It's such a good moment to be able to share love and light with the community, with the world. And again, we're doing it so artists have a place to go and are able to to perform. This little pandemic we're in and everything like that has definitely made it hard too. And obviously Barclay is finding every which way to allow people to have their talent be showcased. So join us Sunday 8 to 9:30, or 8 to whenever the wheels fall off, really.
Right. Listen, I think I have another little teaser.
Do you?
I do.
What you got there, girl?
Another teaser.
Don't be teasing me like that.
I know.
Okay?
Just one more.
All right, let's do it. Let me hear it. Let the audience know.
So mark your calendars for October 16th, I think it is. We're also going to be having a special event featuring maybe a magical person, maybe from perhaps from Little Light Princess Company.
Yes.
And so keep your eyes out for that announcement as well. If you have any little ones who might be interested in hanging out with a princess.
Absolutely. And the last thing we'll talk about really quickly is, guys, our Wednesday afternoon block party, our BARCLAY block party is popping every Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:30. Just come right to the studio at 8903 Glades Road, Suite D8, Boca Raton. Our block parties, we have live performances from Miss Michaela, Miss Amanda.
Yes.
I might touch the mic should I ever get a chance.
Are you kidding me? I would love that. Oh my goodness.
And we do live performances. We have different vendors who are out there. Again, finding a way to support the community, support those around us, and help the world. In this new phase of life, and try to get some normalcy back.
Right.
So come join us. We have a lot of great music, a lot of great fun. There's just a never ending parade of BARCLAY going on. So no matter where you turn, we're gonna be right there for you. Yeah.
Yes.
So Miss Michaela, I think yet again the audience didn't come here for us, unfortunately. I think we should allow our guests in. We should give them what they came for. Yeah.
I can't wait. Yes.
All right, guys. Here it is. What we promised you and what you're ready for. The steak to your morning eggs. We have the legendary acting duo Fern and Barry Katz.
Woo!
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good.
You guys look phenomenal. How are you?
We're doing good.
Yep, surviving.
Awesome. So great to see you guys. So, guys, how have you been? What have you been up to? How is all this craziness affecting you?
Well, it's actually, it's easy to get used to something, and you just kind of find other things to occupy you. I know now that I'm not really studying scripts. I'm doing a little more reading, a lot more TV watching, but some good stuff. And I just kind of, our daughter is with us, and we play a rummy cup. So that takes up our day. We have little tournaments. Somehow the day just goes, and we belong to a group called Miami Radio Players, and we have monthly Zoom meetings. We used to meet in person, but now they're Zoom meetings. And our actor community theater, we also are having some Zoom meetings, and that's kind of, what's keeping us going.
Beautiful. I'm glad to hear that you guys are able to continue to create and continue to connect with people, because I can tell you, I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't here and doing theater. I'd probably be in bed, like you said, just binge watching show after show.
Right. Exactly.
So guys, I know you guys are a legend in the South Florida theater community, and I'm not putting on airs. If you know Fern and Barry, then you know that you are sitting with royalty right now, Mr. Taylor. So these two are just a gem and a pleasure.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
You might be overemphasizing a bit, but we'll take it.
Since I have you guys, let's talk a little bit about a little bit of your history. How did you guys get to South Florida? I heard you guys are actually from Chicago. What's that whole deal?
Right. Well, I have something here that's just a little, I don't know if you can see it, a little bit of our history. It's a little bit. Only kidding. Only kidding. So our journey from Chicago, as far as show business, started when we were in a group that raised money to help fight Hodgkin's disease. A friend of ours had passed away from it at the age of 25. And as a fundraiser, we put on Second City type skits that were made up by the people in the group. Barry was probably more instrumental in doing the writing than I was. And in fact, in the first show, if you can believe it, I was kind of like too frightened to go on stage, and I sat it out. And then I saw they were having so much fun and the audience was so receptive. I said, I'm never going to sit out another one of these again.
Aww.
So that was, we did that for several years, and it was just a lot of fun. And they were very, very, very good shows.
Nice, nice. And how did you guys get from Chicago to Florida?
We drove.
Naturally, the easiest way. The easiest.
You want an encore? Whenever her mouth stops, I try to get a word in. Okay.
These two, like you guys definitely have such a fun dynamic.
I was just telling
See, the truth is, I'm here. You don't see my hand. In her back is a lever. I make her mouth go up and down, and the sound comes out when my mouth is shut.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that. So
we actually did drive, but I tell you, it was an interesting journey because it was before cell phones, and we had 3 kids that came down with us, 2 cars, and Barry rode with one of the kids. I rode with the 2 girls, and we had such a nice system that when he needed to stop, he was the lead car, he would turn on his blinker, and I would turn on my blinker to show that I saw, and we would stop off someplace. And then if I needed to stop off someplace, I would turn on my directional, and he would turn on his to show that he saw my message. So it was interesting pre-cell.
Wow.
We actually moved down here for what we thought would be a nice job opportunity for Barry. And I remember I auditioned for a show. It was at the Sunrise JCC, run by different people way back then. This is in 1976.
Run by Christians, maybe?
No.
Oh.
The Jewish Community Center. And they were doing like a Neil Simon trilogy. And I auditioned, I read from the script, and they laughed and they thought it was funny. And I thought, oh, this is great, Well, at the time, it was like so closed and they were so cliquish that instead of a trilogy where you really could put in a lot of performers, they cast the same people in each of the vignettes. And that kind of like, I get easily hurt, or did at the time. So I just didn't pursue it again until 1999. I saw in our Davy update, they had actors wanted. And I said to Barry, this is exciting. Davy has a theater. Let's see what it's all about. And we got to the meeting. There were 2 representatives from the Park District and about 10 people. And they said, you want a theater? You're it. And that is actually about...
There was no theater. She's letting you guess as to what the situation was.
Wow.
They wanted people with theater experience to create a theater. And, we were actors, and most of the people wanted to get involved in theater anyway. But we didn't know the technical end of running a theater, how you put a theater together, what do you need for lighting, for props, for sound, we didn't know, but we learned. They threw it in our hands, and we started at the ground up and actually have run the theaters for
Since
21 years.
1999. Yeah,
21 years now.
yeah.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And this is Acton Davie, right?
Actors Community Theater of Davie.
There's
Yes.
it's part of the Park District of the town of Davie. They are our angel. They give us the theater, and everything we earn goes back to the town. We don't make money. It's
Gotcha.
a good starting place for people who want to act. We don't pay anybody.
Community theater, you know.
Yeah.
Some community theaters do pay a little stipends, etc., but we don't.
That's definitely where you get like your experience and everything. That's beautiful. So you guys went from, Chicago doing beautiful shows and everything, and you came down to Florida, and it didn't seem to pan out, but out of nowhere you were just handed the keys to a theater. That's amazing. And the fact that it's still open to this day is a testament to you guys. So I'm blown away. Like I could end the show right here. I've got everything I need.
You mean you've had enough of us?
Not even close.
Huge learning experience, because I'll tell you, just when we were getting ready to put on our first production, it was an evening of scenes, and we were getting set, we're going on, and a couple of women who had far more experience than we did came to join the group, and they said, well, how are you getting on and off stage? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And we were all so inexperienced. We looked at each other and we said, we don't know. I mean, we couldn't even think ahead of getting on and off stage and costume changes and everything. So the learning experience, when you learn a theater from the bottom, from the beginning of production to the end, it's really a good experience and a great learning experience.
That's beautiful. So South Florida was blessed to get you guys. Obviously, we at BARCLAY have been blessed to have you guys. How did you guys start with BARCLAY? I heard you guys worked with Christine during Grandma Sylvia's.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Grandma Sylvia's funeral.
We were approached by the guy who was directing it, and he cast us, and it was really a very nice experience. There were a few things that went a little wrong, like I don't know if I should say it, some guy jumping on the stage and really screaming. I mean, we really all got
That was during
frightened.
rehearsal.
Yeah, during one of the rehearsals, it was really very, very frightening. But all in all, it was an interesting experience. It was a pleasure meeting Christine.
Beautiful.
And the first experience working there, a much better experience, was tap dancing through Auschwitz, as far as really getting to know the BARCLAY family.
But we did have experience in interactive theater before that. We did a play called Harry Boychik's Bar Mitzvah, which was a dinner type. Yeah, yes. And one of the authors of that was also a partner in the one that we did at
Grandma Sylvia.
Grandma Sylvia.
Ah, gotcha.
So that's how the director who wanted to revive it knew about us.
Gotcha.
We had done that, and that ran for about 8 weeks here in South Florida. Beautiful.
Wow.
Nice run. It was a nice run. It was a fun production.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's been a pleasure definitely having you guys in the BARCLAY community. I remember the first time I really met Fern, I believe it was at an outside production with another company. But then when I was in tap dancing through Auschwitz and everything like that, they told me that we had Fern Katz. Fern Katz is going to be part of the show as well, and I was like, I could die here today. I get to work with Fern again. This is amazing. it's definitely been a pleasure, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to join Grandma Sylvia. Again, as crazy as the process may have been, and I wish we had more time to share. That just sounds amazing. Miss Michaela, I think you have a question, something about Lacage?
Yes. So, how was the Lacage experience? I know we didn't get to put it up, but like, how was the Lacage experience? And you know, what, Barry, I heard that it was your first singing role, right?
No,
No.
it was not. No, I was the bass in the quartet
Yeah.
in Music Man.
Oh, that's awesome.
20
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah, a long time ago.
Whoa. So yeah, how was that whole experience? You know,
Light a rose, I'm home again, Rose. About a million kisses shy.
Yeah.
yes.
Very serenading us early in the day.
Yeah.
That's really how you start your day. That's better than a cup of coffee.
Right.
Fern, let me ask you. I heard that was an interesting process for you as well, because I think that was the first time you were gonna sing. You were asked to sing.
Gotcha. I got you switched up.
Yeah. It's Fern and Barry, not Barry and Fern.
Yes. Of course.
You can call us Barry and Fern or Ferry and Burn or whatever you want.
Barry and Fern.
Well, it's funny that you should mention it, because there were two other shows that I was in before a Lacage. One was From Door to Door, where I play an older Jewish woman, surprise, surprise. And there is a song that she's supposed to sing. And I just didn't make the cut. They gave the song to somebody else. And also in Flashdance, I played Hannah,
The teacher.
the teacher, the mentor. And there was also kind of like a song. So I was talked through it. So I guess I can talk a song, and I wish I could sing. It's if anybody would ask me what talent I wish I had, it would be to be able to sing, to hold a tune and sing.
She's a temptress.
I know Barry's probably got some hidden stories about how Fern serenades him. Fern, I feel like when we get Lacage back up again, like you'll definitely surprise not only yourself, but the audience is going to be like, why hasn't she been singing before? She should have been singing since Chicago.
If they're willing to try, I mean, I love it, and I love the opportunity of being in Lacage. I mean, in the short time, I got to spend time with you and. Ohm, and I got to meet Richard and
Todd.
And Todd. So it was such a nice experience, and it was really sad that it had to end, because I know that it would have been really, really enjoyable, and I am looking forward to hopefully being able to do it.
Absolutely. And speaking of, as sad as that may be, you can definitely see that the cast is still there for you and still sending love your way, because Richard himself obviously sending some BARCLAY love your way. So yeah, when we're able to get back into it, yeah, you guys are going to be top of the list, because we would love to have you guys. And again, it'd be an honor to have you.
You're worth traveling from Davie all the way up to Beautiful.
Thank you. Ms. Michaela, do you want to know about any past roles that they had? Maybe some dream roles?
Yes.
Maybe they already achieved their dream roles. Like, let's talk about these roles.
Yeah, I would love to know, some of your favorite roles that you've played. And if you do have any roles that you would like to play, like some dream roles that you haven't played yet, I would just love to know about all of your past experiences.
My favorite role is in Everything Bagel.
Yes, very.
And Everything Bagel is pretty good. I will second that.
Well, I think I have several favorite roles, but one of my very favorite, I was Sissy Hickey in Sordid Lives. which, if you don't know, it is
It's become a
gay
gay cult favorite.
classic.
Classic.
And I was, it's about a very dysfunctional family, and I played, the sister, and my opening line was, well, I sure as hell never would have quit smoking if I'd known sister was going to die. And it just, people who were familiar with that, and that audience was the applause that I received, because I said it in the dark. And then when the light went up, the fellow who was doing the wig made me look just like the one in the movie, like the woman in the movie. And people just, the applause was so exhilarating. I loved it. So that was really, I have to say, one of my very favorite roles. And then I was in something called Murdered to Death, which was extremely funny. I played Jane Marple.
But you weren't Jane. It was something Marble. They changed the name Jane Marble.
So that was also a very funny role, one that I enjoyed, and just I've just been lucky. I've been in a lot of productions. The one I mentioned before, From Door to Door, was about 3 generations of American women, myself, my daughter, and a granddaughter, and it was about Chicago, and that really made it so personal, going back to all the street names that were familiar to me. That was a very, very nice experience. Unfortunately, I'm thinking that a lot of these plays I've done, the theaters have closed up. So I'm just maybe you guys won't want me at Barclay.
Good luck. No, no.
No, we.
Speaking of which, excuse me for interrupting.
What?
There's tragedies in our wake. We were in the film Ali when they filmed on South Beach. A good portion of it, the story of Muhammad Ali,
Right.
was filmed down here, but was about maybe 20 years ago. We ended up on the cutting room floor. Neither one of us got into it. Several of our friends.
Jesus.
Then they did a remake of the Charlie's Angels down here.
Mm-hmm.
We did episode 3.
4.
We did episode 3. It was canceled. No, we did episode 4. You're right. It was canceled at episode 3.
Oh, my goodness.
So we never got.
No way. So
we were cast as recurring extras, major extra roles in a series with Paul Giamatti called Hoke. He was playing a private detective who lived on South Beach in a rundown hotel, and we were residents of that hotel, and it was supposed to go on Fox and be a recurring series. Mm-hmm. They changed their minds, never got on. So our history is reckless. It's all over there.
Goodness.
Wow, it's amazing to hear that you guys obviously also do film and theater. And obviously as theater and film, the entertainment industry goes, you really got to have a passion for it, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come next. Your light bulb could go out in the middle of your performance of Memories from Cats, or like Barry just mentioned, you can shoot, edit, get everything ready for the network, and they'll be like, let's pan it. Let's put these. Let's put baby stars on. That's what.
Let me tell you about a role that Barry played that has always been my favorite, and I think he was absolutely marvelous. It was in Nuts, and he played the defense attorney, and he was truly, he's a good actor, but this time he was so natural and so wonderful. But But talk about blanking out. At one point, he blanked out while I was on the witness stand, and he looked at me and he said, "What's my next line?" And I said, "I don't know."
Oh no!
I used the F word, it whispered in her ear. I said, "What the F is my next line?"
That's the
And
worst.
she just went like that. And I turned around and faced the audience, and I didn't know what I was going to say. As soon as I turned around, it popped into my head. Which was almost a miracle.
You have like that 3 seconds of panic where you're like, ah, ah, and then it just like comes to you and you're like, oh my God, thank God. But your body like does this crazy thing to you. Like, why did you do that to me? You have like a little panic attack.
I think we've probably all had that, and it's the most horrendous
Oh
time.
God, nothing like it in the world.
Yeah.
I had to wear Depends.
Awful. It's awful.
Oh my goodness. You guys are definitely a treat. Let me ask you guys this. Almost going back to the question of the pandemic and everything. I know you guys have been doing a couple of Zoom calls here and there and everything like that to keep yourself flowing creatively. What's the experience between, literally going from like your years in Chicago and South Florida, and just, it sounds like you've been constantly in motion between film and theater. What's the biggest difference you find, like from having that lifestyle of constantly performing and people, asking you to perform, to now, you kind of got to wait until the world reopens, literally, like, what's that?
It has been, it's been kind of difficult because, sometimes when I'm afraid that I gotten lazy. I hope it's not true, but you kind of feel, well, gee, now I don't have to rush around and run to a rehearsal or do this or do that. But these are all the things I love to do. But you fall into a pattern where it's like, well, this is nice. I mean, I can do what I want, when I want, watch TV, read when I feel like it. So I get a little bit afraid that I'm too comfortable in this lifestyle, but I just have a feeling that that's all going to change drastically when we open up, and I'm lucky enough to be cast and Lacage opens up. But maybe it's just a way of being able to adjust to what's happening. But I find, and the lack of socialization, it was always, I love being with theater people. That's one of the things that I always enjoyed at BARCLAY. I mean, everybody in most shows is a whole lot younger than me, but I never feel left out. I always feel like I'm included. One of the crowd. Yeah, always included. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about theater. It's just like everybody is your friend. It's just very heartwarming.
I wrote a parody years ago to what is it? I'll See You in My Dreams, and I sing it to every cast after a show because you really become a family.
Right.
And I'll just give you a first line or two. Farewell, our castmates true. I'll always think of you. In our hearts, your memories will dwell. We have kept our friendship so well. I hope your future's bright and things all turn out right. For all your plans, good luck now stands with happiness in sight.
Yay!
I'm gonna ask you at the end of the show, as a final close, I'm gonna ask you to do that one more time for me, because
sure.
You touched me. Touch me through the screen. Um, speaking of friends, guys, I have another special guest, Miss Michaela. I didn't even tell you about this.
I know.
I have another special guest that I think you guys will be very familiar with. He is someone who is also at this point a staple in the South Florida theater community, and he has definitely done some amazing things. He walks in and out of BARCLAY's doors every now and then, so you might recognize him, once or twice in passing. But this guy is an amazing, amazing individual, and I want you guys to have a chance to say hello and catch up. So here he comes.
Where is he?
There he is.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi.
How are you? How are you guys?
Good. We're good.
It appears your barber is starving.
I know. For years now.
That is a brand new do for you.
You're the first person to say that to me. One time I was shopping in the grocery and I bent over to pick up a plum and someone grabbed my hair thinking it was a pineapple. And ever since then, it's true.
When you get older, you'll realize you never bend over to pick up a plum.
I didn't bring my notes. I need to write this down. I need to record these words.
Oh, Mr. Ohm, it is great to see you, friend.
Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. So obviously we've just been hanging out with Fern and Barry, and now we get to hang out with you.
Yes.
Fern has been telling me you guys have like some really, really interesting stories about like how you met and stuff. You want to share a little bit?
How we met or met
How
on?
I met.
I never performed with him. Excuse me. I'll cut out and go buy some plums.
Well,
Save me a pineapple.
I met Ohm when he somehow sent me an email, and I don't know whether he was looking through the a Theater League book or what. He sent me an email. He was doing a reading down in Miami where they kept the little sheds or whatever they were. And
Cubbyhole.
I was in rehearsal for another play at the JCC, and the reading rehearsals were at FAU, right? And,
Right.
So I said, yes, I would. But when he told me that the reading were going to be at night and in Miami, I sent him an email and I said, I don't want you to think I'm a prima donna. I said, but I don't know Miami, and I'm really afraid to drive there at night, by myself. And Ohm picked me up and we went together and he came home together and we really got to know each other. We really.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, you guys didn't tell Barry about this? What is happening?
It was really a nice getting to know you opportunity. Of course, he told me that he didn't drink. You remember that?
Yes, I do remember this.
And then after tap dancing through Auschwitz, we went out afterwards, the whole cast. And I hate to say it, but he wasn't telling me.
We don't know what happened. Apparently, there is a misconception of what was in my cup. But the real story here is, Fern, I remember those drives so well. It was honestly one of my favorite things. Actually, this piece that we were doing was a 10-minute play I had written, and I ended up having to perform in it. I had someone else direct it, but just driving with Fern and the words of wisdom that we shared, and it was a play that had to do about religious clashings and stuff going on. So like me and Fern coming from two different walks of life and cultures and everything. It was truly an honor to, that was the first time we shared, I guess, a stage together. It counts, right? So,
absolutely. And,
yeah.
and Ohm is an example of what I mean when I say that age made no difference. We were talking to each other and just like
As peers.
as peers, as kindred spirits, as we said, where I mean, and obviously there's a pretty big age difference between the two of us, but those rides were so enjoyable that it just made no difference. It was special. It really was.
It was amazing that. How long was it after that we worked together again? It wasn't that long.
Exactly. It was, well, then I think you called me to try out for tap dancing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we did the one at the JCC. Oh God, what was the name of it?
Shayna Madel, right?
Shayna Madel. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Yes, we've gotten to work together, and I really like Ohm is a very good director. He really is. I enjoy doing, all his warm-up exercises and stuff.
Yeah.
Experience.
Almost after every rehearsal, Fern would come up to me and she's like, I've never done that before. And I'd be like, me neither, but don't tell me.
Let me just share this comment really quickly, because I do want to hear a little more about like what other shows you guys have worked on. I know we did tap dancing together here at BARCLAY, but it's good to hear about I would love to hear about a Shayna Madel. I got a chance to see it and it was beautifully done. Like, you guys knocked it out of the park. So I'd love to hear maybe some interesting stories that you probably shouldn't share, but Barry, this is the first time once again.
I'll tell you this right here.
Just a little love from Miss Barclay herself. And yes, you do have to tell us your secret. I do not want my skin hanging when the time comes.
Communication is the seriously, no arguing, based on feelings.
We've been married. August 21st, we were married. 65 years was our 65th anniversary.
Congratulations.
So I tell people, if you want to know the secret, we haven't spoken to each other for 64 of those years.
I met her. She was standing behind her cauldron.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
64 more years of silence to follow.
I gotta hand it to you guys. Like, I don't know if I can speak for everyone else, and Miss Michaela, but my day literally has had the best start with you two.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Could we quickly talk a little bit about Shayna Madel? Like, again, any interesting things that happened, any moments that
what might actually be fun would be because I know we did a show right after that, Fern, Crossing Delancey, where there's a really funny backstage story I'll have for that. So I'll tell that one in a second, but you can take a Shayna Madel if there's anything you want to talk about.
I didn't find that there were any embarrassing or whatever moments. It was just a really, really good production with really very fine actors. Kayla,
Yeah, very.
Hannah was in it. Ohm was in it. It was just quite good. It was a deep story, and it was just very, very well done. Very well done. So I have no funny experiences from it. It was a good experience, but I have nothing outstanding or memorable. I don't know if you do.
I think I do. I believe that because I was playing a memory of the person, and they didn't know whether I was alive or not. It was since they were separated, since she came after the Holocaust, that she didn't know. So she would remember me and see, I would come on in between as and then I would there was a really close switch between me going from being a young, strapping young man to then being old and meeting her again in the next scene. And I remember like me and her were really close. Kayla, we're really good friends, and she challenged me. I challenged her. I was like, "What's the craziest thing you think you could do, right? Just to get away with on stage?" And I was like, "You know what? I bet you $5 I'll do a handstand, and he won't cut it, you know." And so I'm over here trying to rack my brain of how can I make this work? How can I not make the director be like, "Oh, what are you doing right now?" So lo and behold, though, I was able to figure out a way to put it in, and it stayed in the show all 3 weekends. And I almost fell only like most of the time, but it worked out.
See, creativity, there it was. I do remember one of the problems that they had was figuring out what to do with your hair, how to hide it. How to hide it under one of the
That
hats.
like Barry's hat. I wore a Barry hat, just like.
I think your hat was even bigger, wasn't it? The taller hat.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a top hat. It was like.
Oh my gosh, you guys! I feel like there's so many, like if you guys were like walking down the street, it's like and Fern and even Barry were walking down the street, it'd be like the type of stories and looks you'd probably get, you know what I mean, from people like what, how, you know what I mean? That's so interesting that you guys have that connection. Can I?
I have one really just to add on to that. I don't know if you remember this, Fern, but in the next show we did, I had to come out in a towel, like I just came out of the shower, right? And Fern has helped me on multiple occasions to spray me with the little spray bottle of so I come out wet. And it's just like it was just the best moment I've ever had with Fern, just to be like I'm like in character standing there, and then Fern's just like she's like, how do you turn this damn thing on? No, Fern. Fern curses like a sailor.
No way.
I'm airing it out right now, Fern. This is change that title to Fern the Expose. Like she
Yeah, right.
curses like a sailor. She's the kindest person in the world. She's the most humble person in the world. And she'll spray you down with water when you're half naked if you need it. And by that. That's
you guys, I don't know. Today's show is definitely one for the books. Let's switch gears, guys, and let's talk about tap dancing through Auschwitz. How was that process? How was it working together? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was like one of your first real moments as a director. And Fern, like how I know you said a little bit like you enjoyed the exercises and his directing and leadership and everything. How was it? How was it like? How did let's air out the dirty laundry a little bit. How did he compare to the years of experience you got working with other directors and things of that nature?
Not to see his head get any bigger. I think Ohm was one of the best directors. I mean, I've had a lot of good directors, and he is certainly up there with him. Not everybody. It's interesting that a couple of the younger directors were more into the warming up thing than some of the older directors. But I really found that his insight and his advice and the warm-ups were really very good. And in fact, I remember that one of the people wasn't really an actress, and because he did some stuff that made you feel kind of like silly, the way you walked around the room. And she said, "Oh my God, I can't do this." And I said, "Come on, let loose." And I think that was the whole idea. Just let loose. And if you're acting silly, then just act silly. And it all helped. And it helped us get to know each other, and it helped us bond to see everybody acting silly, I mean, that was just one of the warm-up exercises. Obviously, they weren't all like that. But really, I think that Owen could hold a candle to any director I have ever worked with.
Wow, that's amazing. If I were you, brother, I would clip this show and attach it with your resume. Just be like, listen, I'm not saying anything, but let this clip speak for itself. Let me ask you on the opposite end. How was it? I know Fern was the oldest in the cast, and of course, with age comes experience and wisdom. How was it working with someone who has so much under her belt, has done such amazing things from film to theater, owning, co-founding a theater in Davie, like having her in the cast and then having, everyone else be pretty much, about, around 20, aside from the other actress who was on the older end. How was it working with that cast and then having Fern? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Let me also say, for those of you who are watching and don't know this, Jason was also part of the cast in that show and was a superb actor,
Right.
and made a world of difference in that show. So I just to put the disclaimer out there, brother, you're not gonna run away from that one, man. I was very proud of you. Some of the best work I've seen you do.
Thank you.
I have to say, honestly, I never said this to you, Fern, but I think anyone who's directed or has been a part of that process at that end of the table can agree with me that directing is a balance between seeing everything in advance, being super calm, super grounded, and losing your freaking mind every second. And I must say that when I teetered on the precipice of that side, Fern was one of the things that helped bring me back to that balance. And I must say, I sought Fern after. And I remember working with Tyler Ellman, who was the producer, writer of the show. And I said to him that if I can get Fern to do this role, okay, I'm not worried about the show. I remember saying that. Like, that role was, as Miriam, the Holocaust survivor, was one of the tallest acting orders, and I flat out refused to work with any other actress who I did not trust to be able to do that. Everyone else, I was like, I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses. As you know, Jason, we were everyone was cast in out of their comfort zone or their usual place of being cast. So I was like, that's fine, but I need to have a veteran that I know I can count on her skills and her talent and her experience. But more importantly, and I think you all can tell this, I think, Michaela, I don't know if you've ever met Fern before, but I know if this is your first time, she is so amiable, or as Christine would say, amicable. They mean the same thing. That's Christine adding in her C's for Christine everywhere. I'm just playing. But she is one of the most kindred spirits, that she is literally like a director's dream, because I could ask Fern to play any role, and the way that the professionalism she brings to that, and just, she doesn't have an ego, man. She doesn't have an ego. And as an actor, as a creative person, I believe that's the biggest thing that gets in your way. And I could have told her anything. I could have told her jump over the moon, and she would have been like, you want me to throw a few stars in there too?
Thank you. Thank you. You have me almost near tears. I'm fighting tears. Thank you very much for that.
And one thing that Fern did say to me is, when we, as I mentioned, we had the you remember that, Jason? We had Holocaust survivors come and talk to us. And I remember one day, Fern, and if do you mind if I share something that's a little bit personal to your craft right now?
No, whatever it is, feel free.
We're letting it all hang out today. It's just happening. Fern, she approached me one time privately, and she said, I don't feel qualified to be able to tell the story of this person. And the conversation that we then had about what it means to be a storyteller, and how you're never really qualified, but at the same time, I sometimes feel like that makes us one of the more qualified people because of the lengths we will go to try to adapt to someone else's world and tell the story. It was just the conversation we had, that's one for the books. And the fact that Fern approached me, imagine that, you know, being someone who's done all these shows and have all this experience, and the fact that she came up to me and so humbly, as if it was the first show she ever did, that almost made me shed a tear, Fern. I never told you that, but it really touched me. And that's all you need to know about Fern, just that moment right there.
Well, thank you. I have a great respect for, just because I'm older than most people, certainly I don't feel I know it all. There are people who know more than I do, who can feel things. There's always people who can give you direction. No matter how old you are, there's always new things to learn. And that is what I love about theater. It's the people, truly always learning something from the people. Performances you see that you love, and you say, wow, that was really good, and so you learn something from that. Performances that aren't so good, and you say, oh, I have to make sure I never do that. And it's the same with directors. I just respect people and their knowledge, no matter how old.
Barry, well, let me ask. This is for both Ohm and Barry. Have you guys had a moment to ever work together, or like, you know, is there any secrets that Fern doesn't know between you two? That Ohm, did you go pick up Barry one night and you just had fun?
No, see, we've worked together, but never had any secrets.
What did you guys do?
I'm a terrible liar. She'd see right through me anyways.
What did you guys get to work on together?
Let's see. We worked on the all the interactive productions.
The Bar Mitzvah of Harry Boy Chick.
And of course,
Nuts, where he kind of forgot his line, and I couldn't help him.
We played the psychiatrist in Nuts. We changed it to a female because we couldn't get a man for the part.
Gotcha.
And we worked that together. Of course, the one at BARCLAY.
Lacage.
Lacage.
I'm trying to
Laramie Project. We did
right
together. We played multiple parts.
I'm trying to look. And Barry was in another musical. He was in Turkey and Tinsel. It was called
during the holiday season. A couple of years.
And it's so funny. He played Santa Claus, and truly it wasn't a large role or anything. He stood there like, you know, waving a little bell. And
it was a big bell.
And I sat in the audience.
They handed me a little bell and I said, no, I want a big bell.
And I sat in the audience.
Deny this man his bells.
When I was in the audience, and there he is on stage as Santa Claus ringing this bell. And you would have thought there's a Yiddish word called kvel, and that is like when you look at one of your kids doing something special. It's like the love you feel. I'm sitting there as if he was, I don't know, there he was waving this bell, and I felt so proud. I'm sitting in the audience, but he did sing in the chorus also.
Yeah. A cute little ending to it. When I get through singing and playing my bell, I had the Santa Claus hat with the little white ball on the end there, and I take it off, and I'm wearing a yarmulke underneath.
So, Fern, can I get your backing on this? That bell ringing was Barry's finest performance to date.
Absolutely, it was. What's the award? The big award here that they give?
The Carbonell.
The Carbonell. We were very disappointed that he was not.
For those out there watching, I think I need to do a recount. Barry.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
Oh my gosh. What a pleasure. Today definitely has been one for the books. I'm definitely like archiving this, just so you guys can see some of the comments that are coming in. I think this was when you guys shared that moment between Ohm and Fern. That was really beautiful.
Thelma, Sally, and Abraham.
Yeah, this is really such a nice reunion, and it's so nice meeting Michaela. Really, very, very nice.
Absolutely.
So nice meeting you both too.
Just
Thank you.
giving some love from the West Coast.
Yeah, I
Mr.
see
Rose.
from Bill. Yes. This is what I mean about theater. This is it. I mean,
It's our family.
this has made my day. I'm sure yours as well. We've
Absolutely.
enjoyed this.
That reminded me. I had an agent from William Morris was my first. I was a member of AGVA in Chicago.
Mhm.
And my agent, we had a group. There was 6 of us. We called ourselves the 6. And I told my agent, I guarantee you're going to see my name in lights in every English-speaking theater in the world. And he said, yeah? And I said, I'm changing it to Exit.
Yeah, love
And you
it.
know what I say? I say, oy vey.
Oh my gosh, yeah, guys, Mr. Ohm, if you have a couple more minutes to hang out with us, I'm sure it'd be a pleasure for you to hear this. Fern and Barry, you know, let me toss it to Barry first. What keeps you? What keeps you? What about BARCLAY? Is like what keeps you coming back to BARCLAY? What about BARCLAY? Just like, you know, I know that the theater community itself is such a pleasure, but what about BARCLAY itself keeps you coming back?
I'll tell you, it's a type of theater it's not too big for you, and it's not that small. It is perfect. When I say big and small, not necessarily size, although size does come into it. It treats actors as if the theater is putting its arms around you and hugging you.
Right. That's a good description.
And you get that feeling of wanting to do your best, and belonging, I guess, is another way of putting it. Sometimes you go into theaters that are maybe a little tiny black box, and it feels cold and dank, and it doesn't give you comfort. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, you go into a theater and it's massive and it seats 1,500 people, and you feel empty and lost in it. This is just perfect for an actor.
And not just as an actor, as a person. I know that Christine had mentioned that she wanted people of varying ages and representative of the community, younger people, people in the middle, older people. And it's just really a sense of a family. And I know that, you know, from many of the rehearsals for tap dancing, she brought her baby, who was like the little mascot. You know, everybody was helping take care of the baby, and you know, that kind of warmth just kind of permeated, and it keeps us. I come back anytime. Like I said, it's worth the drive from Davie to Boca to be working with everybody at BARCLAY.
Thank you guys so much. And let me share this comment from Christine, because she's watching from home, and definitely once again, this talk show, this show specifically, clearly the energy and the love is being felt to everyone, for everyone. And again, you guys have been such a pleasure, such a staple for us. And you know, when Mr. Ohm was talking about, you know, having Fern a part of the cast, and you know, he knew he could trust her. There was a moment that, and I know it's true for all of us here, there was a moment I looked at him during rehearsal, and I just saw him go from I'm worried to he's got this. Like legit, everything around Fern was like falling apart, and then he just looked at Fern, and Fern was like floating on this island of like, I'm coming to the end, I got it. And he was just like, no sweat. Now I just got to worry about everything else. So that's a testament throughout the entire company, no matter what cast you guys are a part of. It doesn't matter. Barry, I know I see you all the time in the audiences for our shows, and the college was going to be that first moment we had you on stage. So, we definitely can't wait for that to go up. We can't wait for you guys to, be able to come back. And, I know the space will give you a hug, but obviously we as a staff and a family will hug
Well,
you.
I'm 85 years old. I just hope we get it before they have to wheel me out in a gurney. It's hard to sing lying on your back.
Trust me, my friend, we are doing our due diligence to make sure that we get there. We make sure that happens. Miss Michaela, once again, I hope you're enjoying these talk shows because
Yes.
the type of history, the type of people you meet, and just the type of love that's there, like, this is the family you're walking into.
Yes, it's amazing. I love meeting everyone. It's been so amazing meeting both of you, and I hope to talk again soon now that we've met. Thank you.
Absolutely agree. It's been an absolute pleasure. My reunion with Ohm and Jason has been wonderful. Meeting you has been a pleasure. So this has been very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Farewell, our castmates true. We'll always think of you. In our hearts, your memories will dwell. We have kept our friendship so well. We hope your future's bright and things all turn out right. For all your plans, good luck now stands with happiness in sight.
And with that, my friends, Barclay is signing off. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Thank
Take care.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.